Hello.
Can you hear
Okay.
me any better? Any better?
Yeah, I can hear you really well.
All right. 1 out of 2 ain't bad. Okay, I can hear you.
Let me get back to that other screen.
It's 1:08 p.m. in Hawaii, that magical number.
Yeah, cool. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
108. Love it.
Om Namah Shivaya. Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for this call, Brother Sage. Wow.
Oh, thanks for it.
I've been wow. Yeah, cheers.
Cheers. Would you like to offer a prayer?
mm, um oh, I feel so on the spot. Why don't you do that for us this morning? Is that okay, or today, or this morning and
Totally
the
fine.
afternoon? Thank you.
I live in the deep waters. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. We give thanks to this water of life, this nectar of immortality, the water of Shiva, Shivambhu, the blood of the Lord, the ultra-filtered blood plasma that takes all these trillions of incredible nutrients and knows what to do with it and gives us new life and new vitality and happiness. So to your happiness and to the happiness of everybody on the planet, cheers.
Cheers.
Oh my God, 10 minutes old. Good year.
Yeah, mine's about half hour now. I've
Mm-hmm.
been just busy roaming around, but I love my first morning yumminess. Anyway, yeah, the flavors
Good.
can change so much over the day, hey?
They can. And so can we. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really amazing the what I have found after I'm is it today actually? Anyway, I think it
What
might
is
be
today?
my 20-month anniversary of Shivambhu cycling.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And do you feel like you've hit uh, next level of Shivambu use, or you've hit a deeper understanding of what this water is?
Yeah, I think it always kind of gives you something. And definitely like now it's going now the deeper understanding it's remarkable how well it supports you on an emotional level.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of where I'm at now, and how it's affected my dreams. And just no matter what's going on in my life, it's like this. I don't want to call it an anchor, but it kind of feels that way. It's like this stability, this like support, this this built-in self-support system. It's so um I don't know, it just
You're doing a great job so far.
frees up a lot of energy to be creative, because you it's like this huge worry is lifted off your shoulders somehow, just by this support that you know you're going to have. Um,
It's a
so
metaphor. It's a
yeah,
metaphor for you um, creating something, designing something that is beneficial for you to return to you in the cycle of life is an expression of you nurturing and loving you.
yeah, I call it the drinkable hologram, and I just
I love it.
I love it for that. It whenever I've had any like kind of stressful like crisis situation happen, I just I just consume as much of it as I can. It's like I I'm drawn to do that. It's like, okay, everything's okay.
Yeah,
Everything's okay. I'm okay.
I'm
And
okay.
I think that
All is
that our bodies pick up on the hormones that are there, like the feedback loop, and then it
hmm
equalizes like what's out of balance. Does that? I don't know.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know all the technical stuff about this. I'm just going sheer intuition.
Thank you. Well, that's where it's really at because it's an intuitive elixir.
Mhm.
So the questions are in the answers are in the questions that you may, may show up for you and go, well, what about that? What about that? Well, you wait, and here comes the solution. Here comes the answer.
Yeah.
There's a built-in mechanism. The chiropractors call it innate intelligence. So there is an infinite innate intelligence in all of us, and all we have to do is tap into it, and things start to make sense.
Yeah. Totally. Totally. And
Oh,
I
I gave
think
away the mystery of life. I gave away the key to the kingdom.
that's one of the crazy things about this, hey? It's like when I
Yep.
first read, I'd already been through a few um like disillusion moments, but when I read John Armstrong's book Water of Life, I really like that hit me on a really deep level, and I was so angry at first. I had all of this anger want to come out of me, like for this knowledge not being, um, you
Available.
know,
Yep.
and it was just another thing, right? And I'd already done a lot of, but then there was this other side of it, this shaming side that came up for me that I was also like seeing seeing coming towards me, and so I was angry about that too. And I had
Mm-hmm.
done it reminded me, like, all of these things I've sort of done in my life or experiences I've had in my life that I've shared with other people. Like, I did 1 year of humanure, uh, where I
Mm-hmm.
made anyway, so I did that, and I was so, like, just shocked by how much I learned about that, and I was, like, trying to convince my parents to build an outhouse in their front yard, and so they could have a great view of the lake while they go to the bathroom and not use their indoor toilet anymore. And my
Yeah.
mom was like, "We can't talk about humanure every time you call." And then I'm like, "Okay, guess what's happening now, kids?"
Yeah. Yeah. Get caught up.
And so the plasma cycling, I was just like, "Oh, here we go. Here we go."
Well,
With another one of these, but I
you get
got over
used
it.
you get used to it, Anna, because you're pioneering new territory in consciousness, and so there will be some resistance from those that are still hanging on to what they were led to believe was true, and you're going, maybe someday. I'm moving on to the next one.
Yeah, hey? But yeah, and in the end, it's such a beautifully nutritious thing that you end up just gushing over it like a new baby. It's nuts, actually.
It
So,
is, and
yeah.
it touches me in my heart to hear you say this because I have so much Shivambu around me all day long, in the house, in the car, in the bathroom, in the backpack, in the glove box. So wherever I'm at, whatever the situation is, my head starts to slow down, the energy's not there. I'll just start snorting it up my nose, and the head wakes up.
It's
I,
like this thing when I get in a mood and I'm blue or down or whatever, then I'm just like, okay, when's the last time you did a Bastille? You
yeah.
didn't even do that today, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's my go-to. And um, when I have like self neglect, then that's the only reason for me to be, you know, not
Yeah.
not happy really. And it's just this connection to the water, which
Yeah.
totally makes sense. And I went on to
Plasma.
yeah, exactly, right? I mean, it's so obvious that it's just wild. Um,
Well,
and then you
it's
read poetry differently and you read everything differently. And every time one of these scriptures, talks about water and our water, and I'm just like, whoa.
yep, they missed it.
Yeah, it's so surprising. But yeah.
And the plasma is pivotal to the first responders that get the patient or the victim in the ambulance, and they've got the yellow bag, the golden plasma, and they're running through their veins. They know that version of plasma. We know there's two more. We three more really. The other version of plasma is our ultra filtered plasma, that thanks to our bone marrow contributes that in the red and the white blood cells. It gets into the liver and eventually makes its way to the kidneys, and bada boom, we have an elixir. But
Yeah.
there's also sea plasma,
Mm.
and they found out when they filtered out the sea water and just found the plasma, they could put that into animals that were dying and totally do a blood transfusion with plasma, and they would not only recover, but they get new blood back.
Wow. I did not know that.
And here's one more fun fact from Brother Sage. We used to think there were four states of matter.
Mm.
Okay, earth, let's see, water, air, water, ether, solid, liquid, gas, air, and ether. And then plasma became the fifth state of matter, which they learned about. And it also happens to be 5D consciousness.
Yeah, I was reading a little bit about what you said about this. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit more? Like
Well,
the
five, oh, what? Go ahead.
no,
How shall
no.
I go?
Yeah, well, I just like I'm not savvy on all of these 5D, 3D.
They're terms. That's all they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And people get, like so many people who got hung up on the new age languaging and the spiritual languaging and the religious languaging.
Yeah. This
It's
is where I
simpler than
wanted
all.
you to go.
Thank you. Thank you for opening up a space to talk about this. Basically, what some people are calling 5D consciousness is to be totally present.
Okay.
All right. What some people use the word ascension, which is another one of those overrated words. They say, well, I'm going to ascend and go to a higher place, and the higher place, your highest thought you can hold in any one moment, that's your highest place. So people are talking about 5D consciousness or 5D dimensional thinking or whatever they want to call it. It's not a place, it's a way of being.
Mm, yeah. Yeah.
And this is the hardest thing for our brothers and sisters on dear planet Earth is we're doers and forgot how to be a beer, how to
Yeah.
be.
Or not do.
Yeah, a non-doer. Will
Or
that
an
polarize people?
undoer and a non-doer.
Oh my God, you
um,
might have people going after each other and go, you're a doer. I can't hang out with you. Okay, I'll meditate. I'll get it.
yeah. Yeah, plasma really kind of um it I guess it not forces you, but it really brings you out of that boxed in state where it's like, oh, it's a destination. It's a play,
Mhm.
like you're saying. It breaks you out of that idea that it's a place that you're going to.
Right. It also reminds us that you will never find something that you're seeking, whether you're seeking love and intimacy, I don't mean you, but the viewers, whether you're seeking healing, whether you're seeking abundance and prosperity, that's creating the immediate illusion of separation.
Mm,
You are health, you are tranquility, you are joy. And we start declaring that, then things shift and people start getting healed.
yeah. Yeah, the placebo effect is real.
It
I
is.
mean, that has been proven over and over again. When you start to read these studies, it's like mind-boggling. But anyway, the I don't need any verification for this one really outside myself. My own lived experience is quite enough information for me, although I do read a lot. But um, yeah, just embodying the experience is pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad that we jumped in the way we did. My partner and myself, Lee and I, we started our plasma experience with a 3-day fast. And that really was
Wow.
huge for me. I've had radial shortening on both my arms for
Huh.
Um, and I tore the blood vessels off the lunate bone in both my wrists doing heavy lifting in this crazy career that I had for a long time. So I've always had this like, I wish I had never done those surgeries now. But anyway, Um, so I've had like chronic wrist pain for a really long time. And when we started the plasma, I was basically like incapacitated by my wrists. We had just moved. I'd done a bunch of lifting, and my wrists were like toast. I could barely, I could barely like unzip a
Lift them.
jacket, or just,
Oh,
even the dexterity, the strength, the grip strength is really
yeah,
compromised. And by day 2, I was like, "Oh my god, is this for real?" Like, and then you don't want to say anything, to maybe it's not working. And yeah, I've
yeah.
never looked back, but it did throw me into like a purge of the purification process that the body goes through when you start to consume this is real. And all of this other stuff was coming out of my body. And it's crazy in my, at that time, because I was just new to it. I'm like, oh my God, it's making me sick. And then I'm just like, whoa, 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 whoa. How much have you read about this? How much do you know about this? No, this is your body being purified by it. This is a normal reaction. And I think this is something that people really like at the beginning get caught with, because their
Mhm.
programming kicks back in.
They have been, yeah, programmed by the medical approach,
Oh gosh.
big time, in every
Deep,
direction. Whether it
deep.
was television, newspaper, religion, schools, they got it from that school nurse. Darn it, it comes at every. Yeah, but we've walked away. Thanks to the Shivambhu movement. By the way, we've come up with figures of 500 million people in 50 nations practicing urine therapy.
Wow.
Would you say that's a lot? Yeah. Now, here's the deal. Do I pronounce your name Anna or Anna?
Anna,
Anna. Okay. It's a great name.
thank you.
What we don't take in consideration is the indigenous people passed it on generation after generation. Most of this was not written down, so we can't go, where's your evidence?
Yeah.
But yet it's been building and growing, and the internet shows up, and now it's gone viral, and we're already at the tipping point in paradigm shifting. And
Yes.
there's no stopping this water now. It's got a consciousness and an energy of its own.
That's just it, right? That's just it. The Have you seen any of the work, or do you know any of the work of Veda Austin? Does that
Yeah, I
name
got to
ring a
interview
bell?
her about 3 years ago.
Oh, wow, cool. Yeah, I love, so when you get into the water world, of course, you stumble across all of these people, and I really was intrigued by that. And yeah, and the Dharma Tantra, I love that book too, about like it's really a hymn, like they would sing this knowledge to each other. So
Yes,
beautiful. So beautiful
yes.
to me. That was just like, wow. And then it makes sense, like I grew up in Yellowknife, and Canada's Arctic. And when I
Uh-huh.
think about the Eskimos and the indigenous tribes that live in igloos and in that environment, I'm just like, okay, it's getting more and more obvious, that
Hmm.
of course, they're going to be using this. Like, what, you're going to melt snow to wash your hair. You're going to, like, I mean, it just doesn't even make sense. Like,
Everything. Put in your plants. Yeah,
yeah,
everything.
we really do everything with it here. I don't know where my next level plasma experience is going to come from. Probably in this move that I'm making now. Because right now, Lee and I are together, we're in our own space, and we really like splash
Yeah.
this stuff around freely. We wash our dishes with it. We wash our windows with it. There's nothing we don't do with plasma. Let's just put it that way. Laundry. We even had a chicken infirmary in here when some of our hens got into some, I think it was rat poison from one of the neighbors. And we were
Uh-huh.
spoon feeding them. Well, Lee was spoon feeding them our plasma. And two of the three survived that toxicity and detox experience. So
Yeah, that's
wild
yeah,
chickens.
That is wild. Much love to you, Lee, wherever you are.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah.
I'm hearing about more loving relationships between water brothers, water sisters, however the combination is. I'm hearing more and more of these kind of relationships. Two of them happen to be my adopted children who have a
Wow.
loving relationship with each other. Now, spiritually, we're all adopted each other. So
Yeah.
Chitta is my son, and Emily is my daughter. She's drove from North Carolina to be with Chitta over in Kansas City, and Chitta built this incredible urine bath. It's the
Oh,
piss pot. He
cool.
calls it the piss pot, and this is great. And he's found a way to put heating elements around it like there's a moat, so it can be a constant temperature, 102 or whatever he sets it
Oh,
at,
wow.
without having to add hot water.
Right.
Right? So he goes in, he gets out. She goes in, she goes out. They both go in, they both.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. Like, I have a lot. Lee and I both have quite a bit of plasma collected here, and as I said, we're moving. And I have a friend who does plasma here, and she's wondering, like, what is it with the baths and like sharing each other's plasma? Is
Oh, it's more than romantic, in case people were wondering. I mean, there is a romantic element. I'm not going to deny that. But what you got is the five. By the way, there's 5,661 ingredients in human urine that was discovered, and it's on a website from Canada. If you ever need the link, let me know.
oh, I want it already.
Okay, so text me or
Right.
some way I can
Okay.
remind you. All right. So this, what's happening is you're merging the immunity power and the life force and the hormones, everything, with two people. So if you drank Lee's urine, what's going to happen is you're going to have the same immunity, but you're going to have like the strength of two immune systems.
This kind of
So
sounds like
every
morphic resonance or something like that. Like,
that's a big word. Yes, morphic resonance, or assimilating, like they did, the Borg did to Data in Star Trek. So the whole idea was to nurture and enhance each other with the plasma.
wow.
And people do it all the time, and it goes back to my theory that, and it's in the Shivambhu wisdom chart. Did I send you that?
No,
Remind me to send you
I'll
the
do that too.
Thank you. It highlights the PowerPoints of why it works. And
Okay.
number one is it's an intuitive elixir. I avoid the word medicine because people don't
Yeah.
like the medical names. So it's an elixir. And the other thing is it works regardless of your considerations. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if it's a man's, a woman's, a child, an
Oh,
adult, a
wow.
sick person, a person who's sick, a different race, and most people know a different species if you've been to places where they drink cow and camel and goat,
Right. Right.
right? So we hear stories all the time of people who brought their babies and their kids back to life using the adults' urine instead of the kids.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Right? And we have, go ahead.
How long have you been doing all this with other people and having this plasma interaction?
Uh, It all happened when I got the download or the transmission of the book Healing Water from Within.
Hmm.
My life was going in a direction. I will say a little bit about me, since some people like to know this kind of stuff. I put together a company called Activated Living Hemp Sprouts, and we
Oh,
discovered through our own. Uh, it was right before hemp became legal in the United States, like 2014 and 2015. And we found sources of hemp seeds that were not sterilized crossing Canadian border to America, where most of the sources were. So we grew them and we sprouted them and got them analyzed and found out there was more nutrition in the hemp microgreens uh, than people realized. So we were about to launch. We had it all. We've got a warehouse. We got the business plan. We had the money behind it, and everybody's ready to send hemp microgreen powder to all the superfood companies.
right.
Right, we're going to start this whole wave, and then here comes a download about urine therapy. Even though I'd been practicing since 1994,
Wow.
it didn't like making it didn't land because there's no social media. I couldn't get any validation confirmation from anybody. My wife thought it was a strange habit, but go ahead.
Wow.
Right. So what happens is the book gets launched, and in 30 days, in 2 weeks, I'm at the convention in Las Vegas, the Water Life Symposium. And Anthony A.K. King, the genius and the big heart about it, gave me a book signing table to share with other authors and announced me on the stage. And within a month, I'm on like 40, 50 radio shows, 3 television stations. I had a whole new launch of a new career.
Wow. Okay.
I became the pitch man for P. I mean, it was great.
Wow, that's an amazing story. Holy.
Yeah, and then you marry that with social media, and there's 24 UT groups in Facebook, six in they're in Telegram, Instagram, all over the place. Uh, every country is communicating now that people want to teach it and learn it.
Yeah, and um we were on like a we were off social media for like 10 years.
Hmm.
And I think that's why it took me so long to stumble across it because I wasn't online for like
Sure.
10 years. So like you're saying, the internet really, being able to talk to other people about it and find, discover other people doing it is a really big deal, actually.
Oh, oh, it comforts more souls than you can imagine when you can
Yeah.
talk to somebody and you can say, "Hey, I pee in the bath," doesn't everybody?
Yeah.
Or whatever it is you feel like you couldn't tell a soul. But here are people that know what you are about, and you guys have a great connection because of the water.
Yeah. And it's so crazy how there was so much intuition behind this. Like when I finally stumbled upon it, um, when I was living in Montreal, the city water there had so much like chemicals in it. I was just like, I can't even have a bath in this. And I was like, and I actually did like put my plasma into the bath water, just, I'm like, this has to be better. Like, this has to be an improvement.
Oh,
And
it is. Yeah.
yeah, and just like that intuition, like trying to break through, like the consciousness within you, like just trying to break through the body. It's so wild. And then when I was doing human neuro, I was also collecting some of my plasma, like for fertilizer. But it was just I had so much going on that anyway.
Well, look at you
Yeah,
now. Look
I
at you now.
know.
How much you've learned about yourself, and life has become a lot fuller for you.
Mhm.
And 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 and,
And more
and
supportive. Like, I
oh
feel
yeah.
so much more, like, grounded and,
Hmm.
uh, like, the electrical current has been stabilized. Let's put it
Yep.
that way.
Yep. That makes sense.
Yeah, and the dreams was a huge surprise.
Have you noticed that your dreams, your visions, your dreams, the things that you have holding in your heart that you've been putting energy and attention to are moving closer to manifesting?
Yes, I feel like this move is a really big part of that. The reason why we came to Luang Prabang here in Laos, which is a beautiful spot, and if you love nature, I mean,
I
you're
do.
immersed in it here. Yes, you're certainly immersed in it here. Um, but all the reasons why we came here ended up actually being lies. We discovered in the end. So we came to this place like out of fear, really, and yeah. So now we're moving and it's like, okay, like where is it that your heart is taking you? Where is this place that's pulling you to go to?
Hmm.
And yeah, so we're embarking on a whole new, come what may, big move from here. We've been
You
here over 10 years, really, but
you
7.
move you
It's really solid
you
years.
move you staying in the same place, or you moving to another country, or
Moving to another country, yeah, we're moving to Chiapas in southern Mexico. Uh, After a
what?
stop I'm going to have a stop in Canada to see my family on the West Coast,
Nice.
and
Yeah.
Lee's going direct to uh, Chiapas from here.
Oh,
It's just quite a jaunt. Well,
Yeah.
not direct, but
So did you already land a place? You have a
no,
home or
no.
oh, you're gonna do what I did.
Yeah, totally. How
Way
did you do
fun.
it?
Oh,
Just a
it's real
total
simple.
adventure.
The vision came in 2016. I had a vision and said I'm supposed to come here and establish a purification and retreat center for in the Pacific for the world. And it didn't. It just kind of stood there. I filed it, and then in April of this year, I totally got how I was going to pull this off. I pull it off, and so I downsized dramatically. I threw away all the family photos, all the pictures, myself, my wife, and everybody gone. I took 30 something years of journal writing, which I thought was going to make me, you know, I was going to be somebody important, right? And all that writing was going to be manuscript. I threw it all away, and I
Nice.
sold the massage table, all the massage equipment, the reflexology, everything, and then bought a one-way ticket and jumped.
Nice.
And
Wow.
didn't know where I was going to land, who I was going to connect with, and so on. And now it's coming into month 7. I'm well established here. I get so many
Wow.
connections and networking, and even accolades from the Hawaiians that have lived here their whole life. So when you come here, with the secret is joy and gratitude,
There you go. Exactly. Yeah.
and they pick up all the other energy. They pick up on that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what we're moving with, joy and gratitude.
All right. Well, your wings will get you there, and then you'll have a safe landing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I became a grandmother just well, last month now, but November 26th. So that really, I don't know, something about that. The amniotic fluid, the, I really call it the mother spirit,
Hmm.
the plasma, because it's got that connection, right? It's like the work that Veda Austin's doing, all this memory. So I feel
Hmm.
like there's all of this um, this memory that's in the plasma. It is like our history, if you want to call it that. Yeah, and that
Yeah,
was
maybe
the
that's.
big dream. Like when I did my first 10-day plasma fast, just plasma, 10 days, I had this crazy lucid dream where I was back in my mother's womb and she was
Uh,
in her mother's womb. And that was like the end of the visual because I had a really good visual of my mother and my grandmother. But then the visual person was lost and it was just this uh, actually multiple, it turned into multiple tunnels of like blue light streaming towards a central core. And yeah, this huge, almost overwhelming feeling of oneness. And I think, I mean, the plasma baths, even diluted, like I have never actually done a full plasma uh, bath, but
even diluted,
it just
because it's gonna.
wakes when you're immersed in it like that,
Yeah.
like, wow. It wakes up an old memory from when you were a baby, and it's just wild.
It's wild, yeah. So
Such
yeah,
a
I
beautiful
it's
experience.
figure out how you can do it. That's all you got to do is figure out. Okay, you got 4 gallons or 3 gallons, use that. If you got 8 to 10 gallons, use that.
Yeah,
And so you're comfortable and you can get as submerged in it as possible.
yeah, yeah. I don't have a
And
bathtub here, so I used a big kind of barrel that we had, and then I bought a cement mixing bin, like this huge, big industrial grade bin, and
uh-huh.
that's my other outdoor bath. Like I can't get fully under in it, but it's good enough.
Close enough. Are you able to turn your head and put your whole head under?
Yeah, yeah. But it's like,
Sweet.
I have to be in a funny position to do it, but it happens. I'm not
Oh,
like,
come on. You're a little fetal
yeah,
position.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the first one I had was such a, s- like crying, but it wasn't like sorrow. It was just this, like when you're longing for something and then it happens, you get the connection, and the connection is there, and then it's the tears kind of just
Flow.
come. Yeah.
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 So yeah, it feels like you're feeling into your new place.
Yeah.
And my prayer for you is that when you walk into the home, you not only feel like you're home, but you feel like you can be totally yourself
Yes.
in any way you want to, including experimenting with your potential in ways you hadn't even thought of.
Yeah. Thank you for that. That's what it, yes, it's on its way. It really
Good.
shows you what, it really clears up or reveals or exposes, um,
Mm-hmm.
all of the negative thoughts, all of the background noise that we all
Yep.
have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. They don't call it the great creator and destroyer for nothing.
Hmm.
I mean, if you study up on Shiva, he's the creator. He's also the destroyer of the illusion and destroyer of the Maya. He's also not, he goes in form, out of form. I don't mean to say it in a gender, but it goes in form and out of form and never was born and won't die.
Right.
It's the eternal now that wants you to be eternally happy and in divine perfection, whatever that means at any one moment. It's
Yeah, that,
Sunday. Come on, Sunday. I get to preach.
do it, man. I love it. I love it. It totally resonates with me. And like, yeah, how can it not?
So
Um,
the work is to clear enough yada yada out of the way to experience stillness,
mhm.
and then you can
Yes.
access anything.
Yeah. It feels like the pineal gland is it? I mean, to me, that's what it feels like, that the clearing, it's like, yeah, it's deep inside there, and the decalcification process that the plasma does with the body up here is
Mm-hmm.
huge.
It is huge, yeah. And thanks to Shivambhu, people are starting to be able to clear up those passageways, not only getting through the blood-brain barrier. I'm talking about when they bring it up the nose, but all these
Yeah.
sinuses for a lot of people have never been hydrated,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So
Right. It's
what's it
not just
like?
about
What's it
clearing
like,
away, it's about right, of course, the nutrition comes
right?
into all of this. The lymphatic system, the vagus nerve, like all
The
of
vagus
this
nerve.
tissue that needs to be fed around us.
Uh-huh.
That's where all the plasma, that's where it goes.
Yeah,
I mean, that
including the
is it,
portal.
actually.
That is it, and it goes through the cells, between the cells. I mean, this is what I love about talking about this subject, Anna, because Shivambu's in a category all to itself. So
Yeah, no
in
doubt.
our limited understanding, going, but
We
there's
can't even
more on
really
top of
imagine. Yeah.
that. But you do the best you can, and it'll land where it lands with people.
Yeah, I think this, it's like poetry, you find your own you find your own love language for it to describe this feeling that's happening inside your body.
Hmm. Hmm. So you might say, "This is my beloved."
Yeah, it certainly is. And
Ah,
it gets you so, like, tuned in to your diet. And when you start to love your water, then you want to eat so that your water tastes good. It's all about the water. It's all about
mm-hmm.
how the water tastes. And yeah, then you start experimenting with your diet. And well, the first thing that sort of happened as far as diet goes is that we noticed we were eating like at least 30% less. just from introducing like,
The water. Yeah.
so that was
That's a good,
amazing.
yeah, great awareness on that one.
Yeah, and then with the plasma fasting, I did, after the 10 days, I started to consume, moringa leaf infusion,
Hmm. Hmm.
and to feel that cycle through the body was pretty amazing. And, coconut water, who doesn't love.
Uh, yeah, we're spoiled when you can get the young ones.
Yeah, and so we eat a lot of coconut, now, a lot more. We were already vegetarian when we started the plasma,
Hmm.
and, yeah, so the food thing has been a really interesting, um, part. And I love cooking, and I love food, which is interesting because I can say that, but I can also see like how it's really, food is really just this pleasure thing. It's like not so much. I mean, how much do you actually need to stay vital and, energetic and fully charged? Not a lot. Not a
No,
lot.
it's less than when we realize, and then you take in consideration that few people take the time to thoroughly chew their food,
Yes, that was
right? And
another really beautiful experience, like the conscious eating where you're blindfolded and it's just like every bite, you're like, what is it? And
yeah,
everything slows everything down. And now you see people eat and it's just like they're not even recognizing, they're talking to someone or they're just,
on it.
lost in their own thoughts and it's like shoveling.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
yeah.
It's changed so
Well,
much for me.
there's also the not only the volume of food they put in their plate or their bowl, but how many mix match combinations of things they call the meal,
Yes. And I
right?
mean, I say all of this stuff really lightly because I can go in the next, half hour and break my own rules. I always say there are no rules. Like, it's just awareness. And,
Yeah.
I'll sometimes have the chocolate croissant and I will just enjoy it and I will just
Hmm.
enjoy that experience.
Yeah.
And but not in ignorance, knowing what I'm putting into my body and just the awareness of it and being okay with that, just being okay with that and knowing that as I progress on my journey that things will change
Yeah.
and everything is okay, you know. Just start.
Yeah. Now you can be totally aware and go, "Oh, this is me enjoying this dessert or whatever it is. Thank
Yeah.
you." Well,
Yeah.
see that steps us out of the addiction, the compulsion, and the neurosis around the food rules, where you've got to make sure you got the right nutrients and vitamins, essential fatty acids, and the combination of stuff. And people are neurotic as hell about shopping and what foods go with what. If you can just learn to eat food that brings you pleasure and
Yeah.
food that's simple,
Yeah.
and your body's going to say yes, you got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I've recently seen people like mowing down on a stick of butter online and I'm just like, does that taste good? Like
Yeah,
are
yeah.
you actually really, is that an enjoyable way to even experience butter? Like I don't
Uh,
get it.
I don't either, but they must have.
I don't get it. To me, like I don't
Hmm.
know, it's got to be a little bit more than that. Even coconut I like to mix with, like coconut meat, I like to have it with something. I mean, anyway, I love food.
Well,
I love preparing food and making nice, healthy, vital meals.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Keep going with that one.
yeah, but it's wild some of the stuff out there right now. Like, it's been a weird 10 years to not be on the internet and then to come onto the internet like now, after,
Yeah,
well,
time off.
the great lockdown when that happened, when that first happened, when the great lockdown came, I was like, okay, what
What's
is
going
happening?
on?
Because nothing made sense to me. I'm like, okay, cut us off, cut people off from that which makes living possible, basically,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that message. That was just like, what is happening? And so,
So
four
did
years
you?
ago was a big wake up for me. I was
Oh,
I
okay.
was like one of those people who thought they were awake. And that's what we were kind of talking about, the plasma is like, yeah,
Sure.
it's not a place you get to.
Yeah. Well, when you're away,
Destination not reached.
so when you got to the place of awakening, was it something that you were? Um, did it move you in any way to be like this big town crier? Like some people, they go nuts on social media and they start posting all over the place. Oh, I heard this hot new thing, and I got to tell people. Or is it just you just logged it away?
We didn't, it was mostly internalized. Yeah. And I just kept
Good.
reading. I
Hmm.
really, like, I thought I was done educating myself, actually. And I was like, okay, I know enough. Now I'm going to go do something. And then,
Yeah.
and then,
Hello.
yeah. And so the last 4 years has really been like an intense study. So much reading is just astonishing. But I internalized it all. But my partner was really like, he was so mad. He had so much, he had more anger in him than he was angry enough for both of us. And it was like,
Yeah, carry it. Take it.
he was trying to really like, it was intense, like to be out with him in public because anyone that even gave him like a second glance, you know, he would try to inform them
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Well, I
of
had
all
in
the
my
wonders of what they were missing. And it was like, yeah, it was a really weird transition time.
it was weird for me because I refused to wear a mask in public, and I would shop at stores and health food stores, and about three times that I can remember that stuck in my mind was confrontations from guys with masks who had this military vibe about them, or
Yeah.
or the predator vibe about them. Hey,
Hmm.
do you have a problem with the mask? I said, evidently you do. Have a good day. I just I did not want to engage with the guy.
Yeah.
And I had people stalking me, walking around the aisles like they were going to give me the evil eye, and I would leave the store, and it was uncomfortable for a while.
Yeah. Here we were pretty lucky because um, there's really no places to go inside to go shopping anyway. Like there's no
Oh,
all of the there's no grocery store. There's little convenient corner store convenience stores where if you want to buy like milk and the dairy stuff like that, but
items, yeah.
it's
Yeah.
all still like farmers market.
Oh, okay. They're set up with either a canopy or a cart or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah. So it was all outside anyway. And the fruit stalls are all like that too. It's all outdoors, all of it.
Nice.
Yeah. So we didn't have to really deal with that part, but it was hilarious here to see the weirdness going on. Like you're outdoor at an outdoor market, and they would take a sheet of plastic and suspend it in the air
Uh-huh.
in front of their stall, and the people walking by the market, and you just pass the goods and the money underneath the plastic sheet that's suspended.
Crazy,
I just
crazy.
can't
Oh,
even go there, like, with the train of thought, like, how that even makes sense or any of it. But anyway, yeah, it was really strange.
yeah.
So,
Well,
a lot of that
everybody.
strangeness is gone now, but it left the weirdness behind, let's put it that way.
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm walking through zombie land anymore.
Yeah, but they're still out there.
They're still out here now. I live in Kauai, and these guys, they knew all the fake news, and they knew all that stuff out there wasn't something they were going to go with, because most of the people consider this the kingdom of Hawaii and not a state of the United States.
Yes. Chiapas is like that in Mexico too. They don't consider them that state as like a free
Sovereign.
and yes. Uh and interesting what like when Lee and I were talking like okay, where do you want to go? And I just intuitively picked that spot because my grandfather was actually born in Tapachula, Chiapas in southern Mexico and I'm like friends of mine have been there and told me
Perfect.
how amazingly beautiful it is and then I was just like something I need to feel this place like where my where some of my ancestors are from and the fact that they moved from there I'm like why would you move from there the fact that they moved from there all the way up to Canada you
Oh
know
my goodness.
not not easily like
Yeah.
not didn't easily move from that location to Canada like
And when was
horse
this?
and
Was
cart
this? Yeah,
well
horse and buggy. Yeah.
yeah well my grandpa was born I can't remember the year off the top of my head right now 1903 1902 I can't remember
That was before the Model T.
yeah and yeah. So they actually moved from Mexico. They spent some time in California and then another big move to Canada. And he actually wrote a family history book about it. More chronological, though, not a lot of the personal stories.
Hmm.
Um, so that's part of the work I want to do when I visit my family in Canada is actually get my hands on the paper book and digitize it so that I can actually have a copy because
Yeah.
like you, I minimized my life 10 years ago before I left Canada and came on this big journey through Asia.
That's everything I own. It's either in the closet, the bathroom, or the healing room.
Yeah, that's going to be me real soon here.
It's easier than people realize.
Yeah, so I'm like, this is like the second. We really thought we were going to live here for a long time. So, we accumulated, well, we have the studio, which isn't a big deal, but and tools. Like nothing is really hard to get rid of. I don't really have a lot of superfluous stuff. Uh,
You and Lee are the thing that can't be replaced.
right. But I really want to like depart from here super light and
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
yeah,
you're already
fresh
letting
start.
go of the past and the garbage and the whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of some of the things like are really, we had a really beautiful little tiny, well, maybe it's still here somewhere, but we were supposed to do this call yesterday and the sun came out and you went swimming and we realized we don't have our camera. And so many
Hello.
things like this have happened where it's like the thing, the shiny thing. Like, oh, don't lose the shiny thing. And then poof,
Oh, you're right. It
it's
goes
gone.
away.
It's gone. And yeah,
Well, other things when I got here, I just every day has become a new experience. Every day I see through eyes of adventure and curiosity and what's around the corner. I'll take a road I've never been to. I don't even know where it's going. I want to see
yeah,
where it goes.
yeah, yeah. That was really, I mean, yeah, when you're in a new place, it's so. How long have you been in on the island for now?
June, July, August,
Oh, right, a few
September,
months. You
October,
said.
November. This is the seventh month.
Oh, nice. Cool.
And most
And
people,
you were in Seattle? Is that where you were before?
I was in Boulder, Colorado.
Oh, Boulder, Colorado. Okay.
And I don't miss wearing 3 layers of clothes one bit. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going back to Canada in like December. Wow, it's going to be interesting to be layered again.
out here, the
Cool.
hardest decision you have to make is like which swimsuit and which flip flops.
Yeah. For
And
my
you got
trip.
your towel. You have one everywhere, so just grow.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the things. I did this hike with my friends in Penang. I went there to finish up some stuff in Malaysia, Penang, Georgetown, which is another really cool spot, and have a little budding plasma family there. And we went for this hike up to the top of this waterfall and went digging for gems. And when I got there, I was like, oh my God, I forgot my water bottle. And my friend, who's like, he's like a professional guide and like wilderness survival dude.
Oh yeah, he knows the ways of the wild.
He actually really does. And when I was like, I forgot my water bottle, he's like, how did you get, like, how can you be here without your water bottle? And then I ate some of my lunch, which was in a little plastic bag. And then I was like,
Uh-huh.
okay, I got my water bottle.
There you go.
Because
Improvise.
it's always on tap, right? I just need something to
Yeah.
catch it in. I don't need to take it. I don't
It
need
doesn't have to be
the
about
water part is already taken care of.
very nice, very
So that
nice.
was so cool to, to like improvise and be able to do that. And the other cool, I have to tell this plasma story because I think you'll appreciate it. When I was catching the flight, so I have my water bottle that I have filled with my plasma, of course. And I'm like, waiting to go through immigration. And there's something about drinking it in public when people don't have any clue. And you're surrounded by all these people, and everybody's got their passports, and like the guards are there. And I'm just like, quietly sipping my plasma and
Down the hatch,
all
yeah.
the way through. And I don't know, there's something about it. You just feel like extra luminous, like you're carrying this special knowledge with you when you travel. And then
Yes,
I took
yes.
my last sip and I put my empty water bottle into the scanner and it went through the machine and I walked through the buzzing gate thing and
Yeah, yeah.
picked up all my stuff and went into the ladies' room and filled my bottle back up again and walked out like drinking my water. And I was just like, wow, how wild of an experience is just that right there to just, um, you know, I, and when you're traveling, like the currency and what airport you're in and the transitioning and all of that, it's
Hmm.
just like meals on wheels.
Well, it makes you feel like a superhero.
It totally
I remember going into the airplane, and going into the bathroom and collecting and putting some in my eyes, freshening up like a
Mhm.
mini bath, right? Now I kept thinking about what if I just take off all my clothes and nobody knows and I da 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 da, right? And then I'd walk down the aisle with a big grin on your face, clearer than you were before, and the air and the fake air in the room, and that doesn't. It's like a superhero. It transforms you. Nobody knows what you're doing.
Yeah. And it was so my trip to Georgetown, it was 4 years since I'd been there. Like this was my first trip since the great lockdown. And so I was meeting up with friends who I haven't seen in 4 years. And some of the two people, their immediate initial reaction was like they were taken aback. One friend approached me from behind, and I turned around and she was like taken aback. And she's like, how do you look younger? The plasma, it must be working.
Oh, I love
I'm
it.
like, yeah, it is. You should try. And, she lights a cigarette and sips her coffee. And she's like, no, I'm not ready. And I'm like, okay.
Duh.
All right, then.
Well, you look great. You look great. You look young. You look radiant and alive. Do people often or guess much younger than your true age?
Yeah, yes. But now I'm getting so much more gray hair. I really wonder now, but this is my 49th year. And I feel like about 20 years younger.
I
in
feel,
my body, in my energetically, I feel like about 20
yeah.
years younger, which is just absolutely astonishing to say that. But yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a great way to look at it. I still feel like I'm 27
Yeah, that's where I
because
feel
that
like
was like
I'm sitting kind of.
the first whatever they call the Saturn return, and that's when you start to get a clue of what's going on.
Mm,
You know, that's when people's first understanding of reality takes place. They're 27. Oh, I saw through that veil. Oh yeah, that's not true. Oh, that's real.
yeah.
And I feel young, and people guess me at 40. I go, oh, stop there. I love you.
So how do you mind sharing how
Oh,
old
I'm
you were?
69.
Nice. 69. What is your
But
birthday? What is your birthday again?
May 25th, 1954,
May
7 a.m.
May 25th,
1954,
1954. What's the time again?
7 a.m.
7 a.m.
El Paso, Texas. Yes, a lot of fives in there.
What did you know? Oh. Oh yeah, Lee said he knew where you were born and he guessed your sign correctly. So what
Right on, brother. Yeah.
yeah. In the Vedic, in the Mulas, which one? Or Meg Megara Shirsha. I might be
What does that
saying that
mean?
wrong.
What
What
does
is
that mean?
what is it? Oh. And what is the
The understanding
significance
about it?
of that one in the Vedic? Oh, the gentle dove. Yeah.
I like that. Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
Wild. Did we want to say anything else or should we wrap this up? How long have we been talking for? Gosh, you just get, is it 2 hours? No.
no, it's an hour and then
Okay.
some.
Okay. I'm not even looking at the clock. I don't even know where it is. Forget it. I'm not going to bother. Um,
So, go ahead.
can I ask one other thing? This is kind of more technical now, but I have a lot of friends that have been worried about urinary tract infections and
Things found in the blood.
herpes.
Herpes, yes.
Yes. Uh, can you talk about that a little bit and plasma and
Yeah, yeah.
just
There's
how
two
to
different ways.
manage that and just if there's anything anyone should be worried about?
No. First of all, they debunked the germ theory about 5 years ago. The
Yes.
second thing is when doctors are looking through the urine, they use a different parameter than we do. Their biomarkers is the term, or the parameters they're looking for is to identify, isolate, and identify a particular mineral, toxin, chemical, whatever. So they can go, ah, there's aluminum in your urine. Ah, there's graphene in your urine. Ah, but what they're not looking for is whether it's harmful or not.
Mm-hmm.
And what has happened is in the alchemization of the power of Shivambhu is that it creates the antibodies. It raises its vibration, it sterilizes. So now it is the urine and it's only medicinal. It only can be beneficial.
Right.
Does that make sense? So when people reach out to you and say, oh, I found such an, oh, and the same with the herpes. Um, there are people that have, I talked to a lot of people on this planet. You have no idea how many consultations I've been giving this week. You know, guys will call me at 6 in the morning from Nigeria. What about this and what about that? I go, it's an intuitive, my friend. Take a breath. We'll get you through
Yeah.
it. I
Yeah.
do a lot of 911 calls. So you can't go wrong. These guys from Nigeria, this one guy, I got back on track. He had was it herpes? Gonorrhea. He had gonorrhea.
Ah.
They found it in his urine. He drank it anyway. 4 days later, it was healed.
Yeah.
Right. The same with the UTI. The thing that people are so scared about is not in the urine. Just because I identified it in the urine, it's already been blended.
Yes. It's in your blood if it's in your
It's
urine.
yeah, it was plasma right before his urine.
Yeah.
How did it mess up?
So you can't reinfect yourself after it's been distilled by your body. Like
I know.
to I,
That's where people.
to me, I mean, it's clear, but it's just when it's coming from someone who has way more experience with this than I do. I like to hear it,
Oh,
everybody's take on these things, but I'm right on par with you with all of
thank
this
you. Most
stuff.
of it, most of it is how we frame our human language, how we still follow the perception or the misperceptions that the world has given us. We've all but lost critical thinking. So how can somebody open you up to a new idea if you don't open up to a new idea?
Right. Yeah, this is what I keep saying to a lot of the most of the people that I talk with are people really close to me that are friends and family, and I'm just like, if you can't um consider this as a viable thing, then how are
Hmm.
you ever going to learn if it is or isn't? Like,
Exactly.
you have to you have to want to you have to be curious enough to investigate to find
Yeah.
out what it is you're looking for. You aren't going to be able to
Hmm.
find it if you're not willing to look to see if it's there.
Exactly. Hand them the key. What they do with it is up to them.
Yes. And
You
it's
can
just
open the door and liberate yourself and save yourself, or
yes.
just go about where you're going right now down that road.
Right. And that was the thing that was so shocking to me. I was of how much blind faith, like for myself, how much blind faith I was walking around with. All of
Hmm.
these things that I, you know, uh, believed in so strongly that if someone came to me, and this is why I can, sympathize with people, if someone came to me with like this other radical idea, I would like lash out. I even swore at my own mother, and
Woo!
then 2 weeks later, I was like, "So you were right," because I just like, you know, even though I came out with like an aggressive attack towards her, I was just like, still part of me was questioning it. Like in my mind, I'm like, well, wait a minute. What is it that I actually do know? Like, where are the facts of this thing that I'm saying is so true that I'm
Hmm.
screaming at my own mother over it? What is the actual facts? And then I went and
Yeah,
looked to see what it was that I was actually what I believed in. And
yeah,
in looking for the answers to this thing that I believed in, I discovered that it was in fact a lie. So wild. What a time to be alive. I'm so in awe
yeah.
of it all. It's just,
This is the best time in human history, regardless of how much they've tried to trick people into thinking otherwise.
yeah, well, this is what makes it actually so exciting to me. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, there's no destination, but I really feel like I've really broken through some kind of hard barrier. And, I feel a lot more at ease now moving
Yeah,
forward.
I can hear it in your voice, and you have a
Yeah.
very calming voice. So
Thank you.
that's been a really pleasure for me that I can talk to you, and I don't have to change my modulation or sound or pitch or even have my ego in the picture because I don't feel the egos came out to play today.
No, no, certainly. Yeah. And everything became more tactile for me. Like, I think that's what we feel when we get it brings back some of the reflexes. Like when
Hmm.
something will drop and I'll catch it before it hits the floor. It's like the whole um, tactileness of the body is brought to life.
Yeah, it's like it got flipped on or activated.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm
So
not
would you
afraid of the
say,
sun anymore. I'm now I like I and I
oh,
love how Lee took us out in the sun a few weeks ago here, and we do the plasma spray, and it's everywhere in our place, like yours. And we're standing out in the sun, and Lee's like, "Okay, now shine your sun back to the sun." And I
Oh my
was
goodness.
like, "Oh my gosh, that is!" I was almost crying. I was just like, "Right, like give that energy back to the sun. Like how beautiful of an idea is that?" And it really got my body just felt suddenly so much more radiant to me. It was a beautiful experience.
Yeah, beautiful words, Lee. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, remember, there's some things you were going to text me to send you.
Yes, the link to the mega list of the things in the plasma and the chart
Yeah, I've got the
that we
chart.
have.
By any chance, do you have any of my books?
No, I don't.
Well, you can
You're
either
Yeah, we need to remedy that.
you can get them from Amazon, or you can get signed copies from me. Are you in Canada? No, no, you're not in either
No, you see,
country.
that's the other thing about here. It's like, uh, yeah, getting stuff into Luang Prabang Lao is a huge challenge. So, and
Okay,
I don't want
well,
to accumulate any when I get to that continent.
things, yeah. All right, well, I also have it on PDF,
Oh, cool. I would
so
love to read it. And
you can just
thank you.
I'll get that out to you. In the Water Family Directory, if you want to, you get to see who's who in the urine therapy community worldwide, who are the teachers and the therapists, and we have them listed according to beginners, intermediate, or master teachers.
Wow, I would love to be a part of this somehow. Um,
Well, the way it works, and is this eventually going to this our show is eventually going to be edited, or just you forgot how to? Are you going to
I
publish it?
I would sometimes I just publish the whole thing, but if there's a portion you want to edit out, then I can edit a part out.
Oh, none that I can think of. So,
I usually throw the whole thing up raw, just as
yeah,
a
there you
real
go.
conversation. That's how I like it.
So, okay, so right now to take a look at it, you go to brothersage.com. There's a tab that's called Resources. And when you click on the tab, the drop down menu at the bottom of it, it says UT Directory.
Okay.
Okay, so you can see what they put in their list, their name, where they live, phone numbers are optional, email are optional, social media, website, etc. That's all in there. So the cost is $75 a year or $111 a lifetime.
Okay. Cool. And this is what you've set up. How long you set this up? Obviously.
3 years ago, I've been maintaining it and putting in people
Wow.
whenever they showed up. Now, there's one more thing that I offer to the Water family. We got a whole lot of beautiful gifts for people. I was given the honorary doctorate in urotherapy from one of my mentors, Dr. Vijay Gupta at Colorado University. Now, he's been doing urine therapy since 1984. And so he
Wow.
honored me with this doctorate in urotherapy degree with the blessing to do the same for new people, that I could offer a doctorate in urotherapy to other people. So I have that available for people who want to get a doctorate, and they can frame it, put it on the wall, shrink it down, wallet size, or whatever. So
Yeah.
that's also happening with some other cool stuff that's coming through all the time.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm definitely going to have to go and check that out. How many people are in your directory now?
I don't know the numbers. I just know that they're everywhere from the United States
Many.
to Amsterdam. Oh, many, yeah. And I would like to see a lot more. The idea came from me from reading the book, which was my urine therapy Bible, Golden Fountain by Cohen Vanderkroon.
Mm,
And at the time in 1994, those are the only resources that he knew of,
wow. Yeah.
right? Including in New Mexico, there was a Shivambhu clinic for a while.
Yes, I read about that. And there was one in India as well, or is there still? I think there still might be one in India, a
Yeah,
Shivambu clinic.
no doubt, because the Shivambhu community in India have a very active WhatsApp group. And
Mm.
they have talks and classes and stuff going on all the time from different
Yeah, I
teachers out
bet.
there.
Yeah.
I don't speak Hindi, or so I don't really can know what they're talking about.
Yeah. And even when they're speaking English, it's like the accent and the speed. I don't know. It's really challenging for me. That's one of the most challenging um, English second language accents that I can't. I have a hard time. I have a hard
Well,
time with
we'll
it.
make do. We'll
But
make do with the
anyway,
people.
yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
talk to the people you understand. You speak Spanish.
I'm going to. I need
You're
to
going
be.
to really quick. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, but I've got few books on my phone. It's just been busy with this move coming, and anyway, I'm kind of making excuses, but yeah, I have to get more serious about my Spanish lessons. But yes,
You will.
yeah, it'll happen all in flow, as they say.
Thank you. Thank you. So, um, as we come to the close here, that's something you were supposed to say. You're the host. As we
I
come to the
know.
close, I've been on your side. I've been on your side, and this side, and this side, and that side. It's like somebody knows the right,
Yeah, I
protocol.
really feel so new at this, so I'm really grateful for the guidance and picking up these dropped threads. Thank you.
You're welcome. If you want any of my links to my site or our nonprofit, shivambhu.org, let me know. Like for the description part in the video.
Sure. I'm really bad at that. You may have noticed that, but I'm getting better at with that. Even some of my friends are like, "You haven't even put any tags on this. You need to put tags."
Yeah, where's the link to Megan McDonald? Come on.
I know. I've been like literally like running like, "Okay, just get it up. Just get it up." And then yeah, but yes, it's all
You can
uh
tweak it later.
yeah, exactly. So yes, do please do send me. You can just fire me off all of that, and I'll put them in the description. Definitely,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
for sure. And
Well,
thank
it was
you. And I
an
would love to
enjoy.
do this again, like maybe slightly more organized. But mm,
I
I
would like to add a couple more topics to our conversation.
yes.
And one is the one thing that's going to save people more than their live foods, their shivambu or their spiritual path,
What's
and
this?
that's the conversation and the practice of physical immortality.
Mm,
Because people don't have a strong enough urge to live and have love and nurturing themselves as a way to live, and they have unconscious self-destruction, self-hatred, self-pity, it'll take them out.
yeah.
Right? So it doesn't matter if you're doing popping the right pills or you're going to the right guru. If you unconsciously hate yourself in life, it won't save you.
Yes. And you're like recycling that vibration in a way. It's like when they yeah, you're reinforcing that in your water, I think too.
Yep.
As
So
correcting as it is, it's like you're keeping yourself in that vibrational loop.
yep. Yeah. Until someone tells you, hey, here's another way to look at it. You want to try it?
Yeah.
We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
No, I really love that idea. You know what I that reminds me of time I was at dinner with my parents and the TV was going in the background and it was for an old folks home. And it was like, "Oh, you better get your spot in the old folks home before the dementia comes in," and blah blah. I'm like, "What the hell is this garbage?" Like putting all of these ideas in your head that this is how it's going to play out, and there's no other. It's putting that in there. It's putting that thought in there and that vibration in your body. It's like
Exactly. It's
got to be careful.
hypnotic. It's also a did you read the Four Agreements?
No.
An incredible book. It's called The Four Agreements. It's by a gentleman named Don Miguel Ruiz. And in there, he talks about what the four agreements are to make your life work. Do your best, always tell the truth, be accountable. And,
Mm,
these the basic four fundamentals. And in there, he says, if you go to a doctor and the doctor diagnoses you and gives you a diagnosis, he's practicing black magic.
Yeah, we actually say this all the time. Yeah,
We were on to him. We're on to him.
yeah, yeah. I don't know, like, I mean, I guess if I have a broken arm, I don't know. There's some instances where, yes, you need to have someone
That's
around that can help you with these things. But
yeah, that's about it.
yeah. And what was one of the other things? I love that as a topic for sure. Could dive into that.
Well, I work a lot with people's belief systems and their patterns in thinking.
Mm,
Because people can't see their blind spots. So they don't necessarily know why their life's playing out the way it is, their health, their emotions, their relationships, their money, et cetera, et cetera. So when you can help them dig deep enough into the one idea that's running the show, like for most
mm,
people, their belief that I'm not good enough and their self-esteem is wrapped up in feeling okay with themselves. Once you can break that one free, everything that's connected to it crumbles and unravels.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then what we do is give people tools, like I teach them incomplete sentences, to take them from what it was like getting to this moment to being open to a new possibility in the moment, and then choosing to know how to respond for that new possibility. And so
Mm.
it's great to see people do quantum healing in one or more sessions.
Oh, cool. Hmm. I would love to do a topic on that too, and even uh like demonstrate it, like do a role play.
Woohoo!
That would be fun.
Yeah. So once people can understand that thought is creative, and that's what's the factor of why their life is playing out the way it is, all they have to do is get more self-aware
Hmm.
and be a witness or an observer to, like a split screen in your mind. You can see yourself playing and acting and saying stuff, but you're
Hmm.
seeing it as a neutral observer.
Yes.
Then you can make the changes without letting it continue playing out.
Yeah. Yeah, I do something like this through, they call it recapitulation, with actually like with old memories that you want to
Mhm.
clean up, and
Yeah.
allowing yourself to go through the process and go through the memory again, but as an observer, as you say, and then like changing it, actually changing the cleaning up that storyline so that it has a better vibration with you,
Yeah. It's more
let's
it's
say.
more respect. It's kinder.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's
Yeah.
super important. And
So
the Shivambhu kind of leads you to these things because it does bring up uh, the emotional body is definitely touched um, when you do Shivambhu cycling, when you do plasma
yeah.
cycling.
So I love talking about all these things. I'm a big Course in Miracles fan. I like to help people through their food slavery,
Mm.
religious slavery, mental slavery, whatever it is. They can walk out of the grid and the matrix and the agreed upon reality, but they don't know it.
Yeah, exactly.
Give them the good news. It's Sunday. Amen.
Awesome. Okay, well let's wrap it up there, and thank you so much, Brother Sage. It was a real pleasure. I've been
Pleasure.
crossing your path in a few little chats, and it was just, I feel so honored to have your time today and for you to share
Yeah.
your wisdom with us. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. It was a pleasure to work with you and meet you. And
Cheers. Another sip.
another sip. We're going to do a
Yeah,
digital
cheers.
cling, cling.
Cling cling.
Mm. There's this water sister, Kiana, who's in Oahu. When she finishes her glass, she always shows people it's empty. She points the
Oh.
bottom up to the camera. See, I drank the whole thing.
Yeah, I watched you do this the other day and I was like, I need to go get my jar a little more sparkly. There's
Beautiful, beautiful.
sometimes you get like the It like crystallizes or
Yeah, yeah. It crystallizes, or the sediment is what's down there.
yeah, it can.
Yeah.
Wow, it
There's
really gets
nothing
hard. Hey?
nothing wrong with it, because that's the
No.
starting of Ormus gold.
Oh,
That's Ormus gold, and the alchemists knew that.
right. Yeah. Yeah, another fountain of hidden knowledge.
We gave it
Alchemy
away.
is not what we think it is. Yeah.
Neither is a freaking holy water in the Catholic Church. I've been wanting to sneak in there at night and put Shivambhu in their holy water dish. Smells a
Yeah.
little like piss. Well, dip in it. It's holy.
Good idea. All right.
All right, signing out from Kauai.
Yeah, let's just do it like we did with Megan, and we'll just say farewell live here, and we'll catch up with you again. Maybe before I move from here, but surely after. I would
That'd
love
be great.
to. Okay, beautiful. Thank you so
Mm.
much.
Thank you. Thank you, Lee, in the background.
Yeah. Okay,
Aloha.
ciao.